Today I'm going to give you 5 reasons you keep hurting your back doing Romanian deadlifts, as well as cover how to properly do the movement. So Romanian deadlifts is one of the movements I find people struggle with the most. It's the one that comes up the most with my clients. I have different coaching options, either nutrition only or training and nutrition. And if you have the training portion, you can do things like send me videos of your lifts so I can break them down. And when it comes to Romanian deadlifts, it's pretty common to either struggle with feeling it in the hamstrings or sometimes hurting your lower back especially. And honestly, this is a movement I've had a lot of issues with in the past. Now with RDLs, the primary mover is your hamstrings, but of course there's also glutes and there's lower back, especially the erectors involved as well. And the main reason for hurting your lower back usually has to do with using more lower back than you should, but there can be a variety of reasons why you would do this. The first of these reasons is usually just going too far down with the movements and kind of taking the RDL and turning it more into a stiff leg deadlift. With the Romanian deadlift, there's going to be more of a bend in the knees, and instead of going straight down with the movement, you're instead going to bring your hips back and let the weight kind of lower naturally. One thing you do to kind of help this click is think if somebody was standing directly behind you and they had a rope that was tied around your waist and they were pulling straight back as you were starting the movement. And then what you do is, as that weight is lowering, once you feel that maximum stretch in your hamstrings, that's when you want to reverse that weight. And I find most people find this somewhere around kind of the bottom of the knee or slightly below the bottom of the knee, but it can be very different for everyone. You got to keep that in mind when you're looking at videos that just say like everyone should do any movement any certain way. We all have different anatomy, which means we have different levers. So if you have a longer torso or longer femurs or whatever else, that's going to alter how things will look for you. So that's why I say look for that maximum stretch. If you go below that, now the tension is going to come off your hamstrings and it's going to go straight to your lower back. So if you're going too low, there's a much higher probability of hurting your back. The second reason you may be hurting your back, and this is the one that I've always noticed for myself, almost every time I end up feeling anything in my lower back that I shouldn't, it's because I'm not doing this. And that is making sure you're squeezing your glutes, not just to lock out the movement, but throughout the entire movement itself. There's something about this that helps keep things tight and keep you from loosening up and allowing that back to twinge. The third reason, and this isn't just for Romanian deadlifts, this is for any kind of big movement, especially deadlift variations, back squats, and it's lack of core strength, stability, and endurance. Because if your core is weak, now your back is taking on much more of the load, especially if you're someone who does a lot of squats and deadlifts, but you neglect core work. Now your lower back gets nice and strong, and it has to take on way more of the load than it should. So some core work I'd recommend doing at least a few days a week, and maybe just as like a warm-up if nothing else, and then you can work up to pretty much every single day if you'd like, especially if you really have a lot of back issues. You can start with cat camel, just do one set of around 6 to 10 reps, then go on to bird dogs, doing 3 sets of 5 to 10 reps, holding each rep for 5 to 10 seconds, then going on to planks and side planks, and you should get to the point where you can do these for at least a minute on every side, and then also curl ups, doing 3 sets of 5 to 10 reps. The fourth reason you might be hurting your back is from lack of a neutral spine, so basically keeping that back flat. So if there's rounding or if you're hyperextending, you're putting your back at jeopardy. And one way to help with the solution is making sure, it's kind of called packing your lats, but a lot of people don't really understand that. My best cue to kind of help with this is think about if someone was to come in and try to tickle your armpits. I know it sounds kind of silly, but think about that. Like if someone's going to tickle your armpits and you're going to protect them so they don't, what do? You go like this, right? Pack your lats. So if you think about it, if you look at my upper back, when I have external or internal shoulder rotation, so if I'm this way and I internally rotate, back is going to round. If I externally rotate, it straightens out, right? So if you're packing back like this, it's going to help keep things neutral, and it's going to help you pack everything in, keep your core tight, and not only put you in a more powerful position to be able to move more weight, but also keep you safe as well. And then the fifth tip, kind of a bonus tip, and this goes for every lift there is, make sure you're not looking around while performing the exercise. I see this a lot in form checks. Say you're doing the Romanian deadlift, and when you're doing the movement, you're looking around like this. Well, what's going on over there? Oh, somebody's over there. Oh, looking all around. And what that does, it's literally twisting your spine in opposite directions and putting yourself in jeopardy. So keep that focus straight ahead, and that's going to help with that neutral spine and keeping everything aligned so you don't hurt anything. And this especially goes for doing back squats when you're really compromised. And if you've always struggled with doing back squats, I have a video. It's pretty old now. I think it's like maybe 5, 6, 7 years old, but it's still relevant today. And if you check out this top video next, I'll go over the tutorial of how to do back squats safely and efficiently. So check that out next. Otherwise, I think you'll like this bottom video instead, and I'll see you in one of those other videos.